Alright, welcome back to Break Time, everybody. We're coming at you today with Lil Baby's first record since 2022's It's Only Me, WHAM, or Who Hard Is Me. Recently, Lil Baby made an appearance on Lil Yachty's podcast, A Safe Place, and it was an insightful conversation. They discussed a variety of things from his kids and label situation to where he sees his place in hip-hop today. He also unveiled plans to release what he's calling a more mature album, predicting for it to come in February of this year. I want to spend some time here because if you haven't given this interview a listen and you're interested or invested into Lil Baby, this was a pretty illuminating discussion. He explains the disbandment of 4PF and rebranding it to his new label, Glass Window Entertainment, after seeing what his longtime friend and mentor, Young Thug, had to go through over the last couple of years. Admitting that he never really considered that the actions of the people around him could impact him personally, and choosing to move more carefully and calculated from now on. Baby also admits to never really being involved with his music past providing his verses, and although it does make a lot of sense, it was really shocking to hear it come out of his mouth. Going as far to say he doesn't really know terminology when he's speaking to producers, so he can't really provide feedback or guidance as to how he wants his records to come out. He does say he's taking it more seriously and doing his due diligence to learn some beatmaker terminology, but I think this speaks volumes into why Baby's career sits in the place that it does currently. He also had a viral clip circulate in which he was talking to Charlemagne, and Charlemagne asked the billion-dollar question, "What's up with you and Gunna?" And you know, Lil Baby, usually being pretty aloof when it comes to interviews, was able to dodge the question thus far. He answered exactly the way a lot of us imagined he would, but what was telling to me wasn't his answer. It was the fact that he was sitting down with Charlemagne in the first place. To me, this was the first sign that Lil Baby is very aware of his dying light in the mainstream. He knew it was time to get some visibility any way possible, even if that meant sitting down with Charlemagne to answer some hard questions. So let's get into WHAM. Lil Baby kicks the record off with some beautiful strings, but unfortunately, his performances here are pretty lackluster. You'd think since he's been absent that he'd want to come in guns blazing, but that's just not the case here. Baby, Young Thug, and Future join forces on Dumb Dumb and Dumber, and the anticipation of new Baby and Thug music has expectations on high. But unfortunately, it's pretty underwhelming, featuring middling performances from everybody involved. And it's a shame to say this, but it's regrettable that this is Young Thug's first appearance since being let out of prison. By the way, what happened with the mix on FU 2 Times? The hi-hat sits so high in the mix that it completely distracts from everything else going on. And yeah, Baby's still not doing it for me here. Already on track 3 and I'm starting to feel the monotony of the record. I Promise has Baby displaying his vulnerable side, rapping about a rocky relationship, but it devolves into the same old themes that litter the rest of his discography. Even when he recounts a conversation regarding an unplanned pregnancy, it's hard to feel any sort of emotion coming from his performance other than the auto-crooning. We hear from Glorilla on Redbone over some questionable production, but other than the instrumental, Glow's appearance here is a breath of fresh air, and a well-needed one. I was beginning to feel drained from Baby's constant monotone delivery. Funnily enough, By Myself has an extremely expressive performance from Baby, and Rod Wave sounds great on here too. But who the hell let Rilo Rodriguez do that, and why did the record go out that way? I haven't heard somebody single-handedly ruin a record to this degree since Thug elected to put MGK on Ecstasy. Lyrically, this project it's the same old Baby. Due for a Win gives us one of the bars of all time. She know that she got that water, and I call her my little mermaid. I tell her to squirt for me. What the? So just in case you thought there was an overhaul in subject matter on the project, you can rest assured that nothing's changed on that front. So Sorry is interchangeable with I Promise, being another lackluster attempt at showing emotional vulnerability on his relationships. It's just a nothing song on a track list that's already wearing itself pretty thin. And Travis Scott proves to be the most consistent feature artist of all time, providing another mid-verse on Stuff. Remind me, has there ever been a great Travis Scott feature? It's gotten to the point where I roll my eyes when I see his name on somebody's track list. He must save all of his best ideas for his own bodies of work. And man, some of the instrumentals on here are so basic and generic, it's mind-blowing. The dissonant keys on Say Twin reminds me of arrangements my 2-year-old daughter makes on her Little Tex piano. Another directionless track that only serves the purpose of extending the album's runtime. 21 Savage manages to inject a lot of well-needed energy with his verse on Outfit. It reminds me a lot of his Savage Mode Issa days, emanating this killer aura over these distorted 808s and admittedly pretty catchy whistles. This track just happens to have one of Baby's better performances as well. Although it's relatively laid back, it fits quite well. my favorite cut of the LP. Drugs Talkin' is a track about saying and doing things you usually wouldn't because you're under the influence. And I'm starting to connect the pieces as to how this project came together. In their interview, Yachty asked Baby where he saw his place in hip-hop, and Baby basically told him that he wasn't interested in chasing trends. He said he wanted to stay solid and make the music that he wants to make. I mean, I can respect that to a certain degree, but you should still be trying to evolve as an artist. That's the mind state that breeds complacency and complacent music like this project. I'm cautiously optimistic to see what he brings with his next record, Dominique, as Baby has claimed that this will be a deeper effort and we've never seen that side of him. But also, for that same reason, I don't have my hopes too high. Still, I'll check it out, and if there's something there to discuss, you can catch me right back here for another review. Until then, my standout track is Outfit, and I'm giving this record a 3 out of 10. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.